I'm Gary Jenkins, and welcome to the Jenkins Art Studio. Today we're going to paint an alstroemerium. Or is it an alstroemerium? Oh, who cares? It's a beautiful flower to paint anyway. Let's take a look at the painting that I'll be working from so you get an idea of where we're going. There it is. It has a wonderful, beautiful, dark, rich, velvety black background, and look at the colors spilling out of the center, and we have a few leaves in the back. This is an oversized flower. It's just beautiful. Let's take a look at the canvas I'm working on. This is an 18 by 24 and has a pattern on there already, and this is black acrylic that's around the pattern. And I've already prepared this a little bit. I have some white paint already on there. You can see it. So I put some white, not on the stem, but did I put some on there? No. Just around on the flower. And then I also have some transparent base color on here to help the paint flow along. Okay. Now, some of you are beginners and you're saying, oh, how do I get the pattern on there? I can't draw. Well, there's several ways you can do it. One way, you can do it with what we call an opaque projector, where you would take your photograph and slip it under the projector, and it projects it up on the canvas, and you would trace off the flower, whether it's this flower or some other flower. Or you can simply sketch it on there, or you can use a slide projector and have slides made of the flower and project it up there. That works very nicely. And of course, we have the patterns in our painting packet for you to help you get it up there. So you got all kinds of options and ways of going. Let's get started. We're going to come down to the palette. Boy, I tell you, we've got color down there. Look at all that wonderful color around the outside edge. You'll notice inside that we have some pastel colors. And what I've done, I've taken some white and mixed with each one of these, and I've arrived at a very light value, or pastel colors. Over here, I have a grayed down, sort of a blue-gray, which is made up of black and white and cerulean blue, and I made a grayed down blue, which we'll get into for some of the shadow work. But for right now, we're going to take, and I'll dip in, take a little medium, and I take a little bit of the color and come on into the center and get it loaded up on both sides. We'll come up here, and we're going to start in the center with beautiful alizarin crimson, which is a very dark, super dark red, and it's very transparent. So that's why you'll see as I pull it out, it gets a lighter color as I pull it out. Now this red, which is bursting out of the middle, is going to become an orange color. Oh, before I get into that, let me mention up here that we are doing an oversized flower. You can see my hand in comparison to the size of the flower. This is called a graphic, or an oversized flower. Of course, you guys know that this flower is really probably just about this big. It's rather small. It's in the lily family, matter of fact. Okay, now I love painting the big flowers because they're very graphic and very big, and when you hang them in your home, they demand attention. And again, for all you beginners out there, you're going to love doing this one. Let's come down. Now that's not as orange as I want it to be. So I'm going to pick up some orange, no medium, and put some yellow with it, and we'll come up here. That's the color I want. And we're going to pull that out, and we're going to leave some little fingers of it sticking out here so I don't fill the whole thing in. I'm going to take a brush that's called a little blending brush. And by coming, well, let's come in here and pull that out. We'll kind of pull this out. You can see how it blends nicely. And we can cut across it like this. You notice as soon as I cut across it, how it makes it look like the petals are rolling over, in and out. If it gets too stringy or too strokey, go back the other way. So we got that, but we want to have a little more color out here. I use paper towels all the time. You might not see me, but I'm always wiping on the towels. And what we're going to do is take a little color from down below. Let's take some of this gray down blue. Remember, that has a little black and blue and white. That's that mixture. We'll come up here and we'll just place a little of that in there. Now, these paintings are so simple to do, and they're so neat. I really love doing them. They're really great. You guys take your cameras out, take all those wonderful photos of the flowers, bring them on home, trace it on down, get it on down any way you want, and have at it. And it's just a wonderful way to work. You can see how simple this went in. And again, if you're a beginner, it doesn't get any easier than this, guys. Here we have a folded over petal. It's folded over. So we have to get some shadows going in here. But I see way up at the top, there's a beautiful mauve color. Let's come on down to the palette. Let me show you this color. This is sort of a mauve-y color. It's mauve and white, or it's violet and white. And we'll take some of that up here. And we'll just come in. We'll find a little of that wonderful, beautiful mauve color. And watch me kind of pull it out a little. And we'll come over here and get a little more of it coming out. See how I kind of pull it to get that kind of curved look? And don't forget your blender. Get that in there. Now we have a change of color. As it comes down, it looks like it's going to pick up a little bit of that blue. But before it picks up blue, I see it has a nice gray blue underneath. So before we go for the blue, let's put this gray blue. Don't pick up a lot of color. And you see how I'm feeling that petal. I'm going around the petal. Around it. Yes. And we'll use our blending brush to blend it. We'll come down and pick up a little of that purple color again. And I see this one is sort of turned over. We'll get that little edge. And you can come over the black a little bit. Doesn't matter. Now, right in this area, on top of that gray down blue, we're going to take some cerulean blue and white and go over the top of that because we want a feeling of a little reflected blue. Yes, there it is. A little blue right on top of that. And you can see how that blue's popping just a little bit, but it's the gray underneath which keeps it from being gaudy and too bright. I see there's a little tinting in here, and we'll take a little yellow and orange. Now you guys at home have more time. So when you look at your photo, and whenever you see there's a little color change in there, go put it in. Just follow your own instincts. It'll work. A little hair gets on there, just pick it off. Well, look at that one. It's not wanting to come off. There it is. Now we have a wonderful petal there. You can see there's just not much to do to these fellows. They just kind of go in. Just kind of tinting, really. Look, got a little spot right there. We'll get that out of there. Let's come up to the next petal way up on top. I see there's a very warm shadow that's cast in here. So we'll come down. Let's pick up a little yellow ochre. A little touch of sienna, wonderful sienna, which sort of darkens the ochre up just a little bit. We're going to place that right in here. Yes, now remember, I have some white already on these petals, so that's helping this paint to flow along, and the white keeps my paint from being too dark. It's that white underneath that makes everything this wonderful pastel color that we're getting. So white is mixing with everything we have. Yes, pull that out a little. Now we're going to come up here. There's some wonderful color in this petal. I know, it's simple. You're home going, geez, that looks awfully easy. It is. This is not edited. We don't stop and do more to it. We're seeing what you're seeing is what I'm doing. Straight. And I only have a short period of time. Just think what you could do when you have all day to play with these things. Good grief. You could start your painting and go to the store and do your shopping. Take a trip to Europe. That's how fast these things go in. Now you see all these strokes, how they're all heading towards this point? Look at that go in. And this is all being done with a filbert brush. What number is this? It's a number 12 filbert. Filbert is the brush with the rounded corners. You see that? Very important. Okay. Now, with the filbert. Whoop, here I am talking to you. And I got a little dark. So what happens if you say, oh, I messed up? Don't worry about it. Just go in there and mush it out of there. Mush it in. Who cares? We don't have time to worry about that. Think positive. Think good thoughts when you paint. Yes. Just say, be a flower. It'll be there. Trust your own self. It's the person that hesitates. The one says, oh, no. That looks too hard. I'm not going to do that. And they settle for less. Don't be one of those people. Go for the gusto. Reach for the brass ring. Look at that. I see a little tint of color up here. Yellow, orange. Come on up here. And we'll put a little tint of color right up here. You see how I run the brush right along? Pull it out, pull it down. Now, if it looks a little hard, that's a hard edge. It sure is. We're going to take our blending brush and watch how we just knock it down. Pull your stroke that way. You see how that blended right out? And then come across this way. Very lightly. Very lightly. Yes. Let's do this petal up here. This one has just a little bit of that very dark crimson. Oop, can't see that. Very dark crimson coming up. So we'll get a hint of that in there. You see how I stroke it, stroke it, stroke it. And now the crimson will turn as your color runs. Say your color makes a run for it. It starts out dark. And then makes a run up the petal. It'll change color. It won't stay the same color. That's a little orange. It's running up the petal. It's going to go from orange and then, oh, look at that. Here's a little touch of yellow. So don't make it the same color all the way up. I'm going to stop. Well, there's a little light right there. Let's get that in there. Way up at the top up here, we have a little hint of color. Sneak it in. Now, if you really mess up on the outside edge, you can always take your black oil, even though this is acrylic back there. You can take your black oil and go in and touch it up. Now, I'm not going to bother about doing that, but you can do it if you want. Now there I am, just blending the whole thing together. Look at that. Don't touch it. I know a lot of times you say, oh boy, that really went in. Can it be that easy? And you question yourself. You say, it can't be that easy. I'm so used to struggling. I'm so used to, oh, what color to use? Oh, this is so hard. Oh. And now we find something that's so simple. And you go, oh, it can't be that simple. Yes, it can be. Well, these graphics are wonderful. They're just oversized. Just think of what you can do. I've done paintings, oversized paintings, of daisies. I've had huge, I did it on a 24 by 36. I had a painting, I've done these paintings this big, 30 by 40s, which is a standard size. You can go to the art store, they have them already stretched. 30 by 40s. And they also have the canvases that are wrapped around the sides. But they don't have the staples. So you don't have to frame them. And they're about, 2 inches wide. It gives a little more of a modern feel. But with these large flowers, and I've done daisies, big daisies, and on a graphic, on a canvas that doesn't require the frame, beautiful, just beautiful. If you guys are showing your work out there at the fairs, the art fairs around, try showing some of these. You'll be surprised, because it is a good little seller, and I think you'll find you will have a nice time doing them. It's a fun type of painting to do. Now back in here, I don't know what this is called. You guys that grow flowers, you probably are. I'm down here just picking up a little pink. Probably know what it is. Good grief, I can't even pronounce the name of the flower right. Sometimes it's called Ostermeria or Ostermeria. Who cares? I don't care what the name of the flower is. This one is so hard to pronounce, I'm not even going to try. Let's put that stem in. Here's some green. Green and orange. Yes, this is sap green. And on it goes. And I'm going to put this in. Now, you know, of course, a lot of you know, and some of you don't know, that Catherine and I have moved to Ashland, Oregon. Yes. And this is a wonderful town. It's really known for the Shakespearean Festival. And every Tuesday during the summer, they have this artists' growers market where Catherine and I go, and we go to the growers market, and we look at all the wonderful flowers that they have. Look at the flowers. And we buy flowers and we talk to the folks. And what's really neat about this is that these people actually grow their own flowers. They're out there, the farmers are out there, they have the flowers in the field, and they bring them in and sell them to the folks. There's all kinds of wonderful, look at the color. Wouldn't that make a beautiful painting? Ah, there's so much out there to paint that I meet people that say, oh, I don't know what to paint. Oh, good grief, it's all around you. Sometime take a trip out to the wonderful state of Oregon or even to Washington and take a look at the flowers that they have. This is rose country. Wonderful things happening out here, besides the wonderful mountains and rivers. Now this is going to come up, and I want this stem to slowly fade into nothing. So I would come down and take just a touch of black and add to it so it looks like it just fades right out into the black. Now we're going to take a little yellow and blue, which makes a green, and we'll find a little color on here. Yeah. And, whoa, there's a little white showing. We'll try to get rid of that. And right in here it gets a little bit brighter, so I'll take our yellow and blue mixture, yellow and blue, working in on both sides of the brush, one side then the other, and we'll get a little that wonderful green hitting in here. And no medium. See, if you don't put medium on, the paint sticks to the surface. And it also, we want some texture in there. But it's brighter on the top. So I'm going to take, I really want it brighter. I'm going to take a little more yellow. And if you don't use medium, it'll stick to the surface to give you that feeling of sunshine coming in. Also, I'm going to take a little white and green. I'm going to find just a little light hitting up in here. I want a little, there, that's what I want. Notice how I just hit it and you get back out. Let's take a look at what we have. Boy, look at the color spilling. Look how simple that is. Give me a break. If you're a beginner and you want to do something that's not just a little Mickey Mouse little project, and you want to do a painting that belongs in a gallery setting, this is it. Let's take a look at the little goodies. I don't know what we call, but it has those little things that come out of the center. My wife knows the name of all these things. And when the show's over, she'll say, well, that was a ha-ha. I don't know what these things are called. But they're, well, let's take a little more color down here. A little white, a little red, sort of a kind of a ucky reddish green. And we're going to take that up here. Now these things aren't straight, and I'm using the same brush. And they kind of come out, and I'm going to push down and get a little edge on it, pick up a little more of that same color, and it's another one that comes out, and you push, yes, and another one that comes out, and it comes over the dark, and you push, and it looks like they're alive, yes, and another one here, and they cross over each other, and another one that comes out of here and push down. Look at these things. And then another one here. Don't put in too many, but it has quite a few of them coming out of there. Then this type of flower has these little dark little things that kind of come out. They're a little dark. I don't know what they are, but they're just like this shape. And you notice I just hit it on the back stroke. Boom, boom, yeah. And don't get carried away with too many of them. Guess it just has it on that one petal. And then we're going to sort of blend it together a little bit. Okay, now we have some wonderful leaves in the back. Oh boy, the same brush again. Whew. Let's take our sap green. Now we'll use some medium and a little bit of, well, sap green mixed with a little bit of yellow and white here, I guess. We'll take some of that. Well, we'll start right here. Many times you have to take your canvas and put it up on the lip of the easel. I won't do it, but to get the bottom part. And we're going to come up here Woo, now that's too dark. I'm going to put a little black and green together. Never know what you have until you do it. Come on up, and it comes over and sort of loses itself out there. Yes, we're going to put in quite a few stems. This is our green again. We have another stem right here, and a little bit of it here, and a little bit coming on all the way up here and out there. Yes. And we have another stem that's way up here. So I'm going to put all the stems in that I have in this painting. A little sienna and green. And we have another one in here. Woo! Sometimes I start at the bottom and sometimes I start at the top. And another one in here. And don't forget, you guys, if you want to ask some questions and see some other stuff, our website will, our email, our website will be on the end of the show, in case you guys want to email us or say, I didn't like that show. No. Okay, now, again, if you have any questions, a lot of folks call us on the phone and say, well, I want to ask you about the show you did where you were painting the flowers. And we do paint several flowers on different shows, but there will be a show number at the end of every show. So if you would please refer to that when you call us, it would make it a lot easier. Okay, now we're putting some leaves in. This is green and a little sienna, and we're going to just flatten that brush out, and some of these leaves have more sienna, and some will have a little more, maybe some yellow and ochre, and in it goes, and you kind of wiggle that brush, maybe add a little light to that one. Yes. And we have a big leaf on the bottom that's coming out right about in here, and we'll wiggle this in. Big giant leaf. Now this leaf is big and it has some, maybe we'll take a little of this rose color we haven't used yet, and we'll have some of that on the edge, woo, of that leaf. Some of the leaves get quite colorful. Yes. And we'll have way over here, we're going to come over on the other side and pick up a little bit of the same color here and here. And if you want it wider, just run down the side of it again. See, I can make that leaf as wide as I want. Or you could actually even use a larger brush if you wanted to. And we have another one here. And another one here. Okay. What else do we have in there? Oh, I see a couple leaves way up on the top. Don't want to forget those. Way up here. Watch the brush. Well, you can't. How are you going to watch the brush? You can't see through my hand, can you? Let's watch the brush. It's flat, and I come up, and I turn. See it happen? See it? Yes. I'm going to put another one right next to it, right over here. Flat. You can wiggle the brush a little and come to a little point. Is that cool? That's cool. How are we doing? Let's take a look at the painting. Boy, that doesn't look too shabby. We have a little stem down here. We might want to darken up there. And we got some leaves. Now, if you wanted to put more leaves in your painting, you could. Or you can leave it a little on the simple side. I like it without a lot of leaves because it really brings the flowers out. So remember, you guys out there, have at this thing. Put your pattern up there and have at it. And don't forget, down the line, we're going to be doing some other shows, and I'm going to be showing you how to paint a vase. Well, you guys, thanks for watching out there. And I give this a shot. It's a wonderful painting to do, and it's very simple. Be good to each other, and don't forget to stop and smell the alstroemeриums, or whatever you call it, along the way. God be with you, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Wilt u ook leren schilderen als Gary Jenkins? Bestel dan dit prachtige boek, vol met praktische schildertips en schitterende voorbeelden. Deze unieke uitgave heeft u al in huis voor €34,50. Ook kunt u voor dezelfde prijs een dvd bestellen waarop Gary stap voor stap uitlegt hoe u zijn schildertechnieken kunt leren. Kijk voor alle bestelinformatie op omroepmax.nl of teletextpagina 332.